Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Argentina. It's the first round of the FIA Motocross World Championship. It's the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina, and we're back here at Neuquén, just outside of Villa Langostura, or as the locals call it, Bisha Langostura. I found out the other day it's like a B-I-S-H-A thing, so you learn something new every single day. And welcome to our first ever studio show of 2019. Myself, Paul Mayland, Lisa Leyland. We've got our first guest in, Ben Watson from Monster Energy Kamiya Yamaha MX2. We've got Clement Desal coming in as well from Monster Energy Kawasaki, and Dirk Grubel from Red Bull KTM. He's, of course, team manager for the Dutch side, shall we say. But as we see, our first guest is in place here. Ben, we'll talk to him in a moment. But Lisa, we're back.
We are.
Like the sofa. I
know. I'm getting up close and personal with our guest today.
Do I have to shout?
Yeah,
you're do. Far, far away over there.
It's so good to be back here, though. It's such a nice atmosphere, and it's.
How was your winter?
It was short. It was short.
I'm glad you said
good.
Short.
Yeah, but it was nice. It gets shorter every year, doesn't it? But it's. I'm ready.
Did you get up to anything interesting? No? Okay, moving on.
I stayed out of trouble, which is all you need to know.
All right, well, on that note, let's welcome our first guest. Ben Watson, he finished fourth in the MX2 World Championship last year, and, of course, he remains with Kamiya Yamaha, Monster Energy Kamiya Yamaha. Ben, first of all, congratulations. Good result last week in La Capelle Marival, the final French, or the final international race of the season, pre-season races. You must be feeling pretty happy about that coming into what is now the first round of the World Championship.
Yeah, it was a difficult, not off-season, but the pre-season races were not exactly how I wanted them to go at all. But yeah, that's the reason we do those races. And for me, I actually gained quite a lot from those negative results, let's say. I had Hawkstone and a couple in Italy. And yeah, I just had many problems and actually some out of my hands. So it was nice to go to La Capelle and everything goes smooth and actually be able to ride to my potential, let's say. So. Yeah, it was good qualifying and both the race wins and then a fifth in the super final. So I was happy with the weekend, but of course, yeah, that race in the past and it means nothing now. So it was just really nice to give me a little bit of a boost before the long trip here and, of course, the first round of the World Championship.
You just touched on it a moment ago, like a difficult off-season for, whether it was in racing or whatever else. But are you happy with the way you're riding at the moment, through the off-season and that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I feel in myself I've made a huge improvement, and actually I feel and kind of see a little bit more in myself than the improvement for the 2018 season from 17. So yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because when I came here last year I didn't really feel so good in myself. The pre-season races were not great. I didn't have that sheer speed, let's say, but yeah, I was physically strong, and yeah, I had a couple of good starts and just put in some solid results without making any mistakes. So this year I definitely feel my speed is a little bit higher. I'm still physically strong, and yeah, I've worked a lot on technique with Jackie and Romain this year, so I think it's been positive winter in that way.
Well, also this year the team has actually trimmed its lineup, hasn't it? From 3 to 2 riders. It's yourself and Jago Hertz. It all looked like a lot of fun at the pre-season photo shoot between the team. But what's the competition like between you guys?
No, Jago's one of the quietest riders you'll ever meet.
Right.
He's just, I think you could slam him through one of the fences here and then he'd come back and he wouldn't say a word to you. He's just, yeah, he's just generally a nice kid. So he's still young in the class, let's say, and still building and developing himself, let's say, and finding, his true potential, because, you saw last season he had many really strong rides and then a few not so strong where he struggled a little bit. So I think he's also had a good winter, and we get on good together, so I wish him.
And how is the dynamic between you two? I mean, do you ride together? Do you train together? Because, I mean, I know last year he was at school, so perhaps he wasn't as involved as much as he probably would be this year.
No, we do nothing together. Right. No riding or training. He did have the option for this season to work together with me and Jackie, but he's a little bit to himself and just likes to kind of work on his own things himself. And I think now this season he's not at school, he's a little bit more free and kind of likes the option to just go where he feels on the morning, let's say. So this year I'm working with Jackie, and Romain's also working with Jackie, so it's a really good relationship between us three, and I feel we've had a very positive winter together.
Well, looking back on last year, excuse me, there were quite a few fourth-place finishes, but you did make the podium in Russia, third overall. I guess the goal then is to replicate that, get plenty more of those.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Oh, fourth place.
I mean, okay, no, the podiums. I mean,
okay,
not the fourths. No.
Yeah, like even last year, I was sick of fourth place, but
Yeah.
after the result, I was never. Yeah, I cannot be disappointed because it's fourth place, and it was just always something was making me just short of the podium every time. And actually, Russia, I didn't ride so good. I had a third in the first race, and was quite a long way from the front runners, George and Paul's, but it was like that. I just stayed consistent throughout the weekend, and it put me on the podium. So, I feel like my riding last year deserved, let's say at least another podium. But yes, some things from my side, and it was not perfect every time.
But what have you learned from last year? That you can use coming into this new season.
Yeah, I've watched many of the races last year throughout the winter just to kind of get me prepared, because I was feeling like the winter was coming along after Christmas and New Year, and I was feeling quite ready myself and just wanted to get myself here now. I was getting a bit impatient with the racing, so I was just watching back, and when I watch myself on TV, I think, like, what am I doing? You can be so much better here, and that's more of the feeling I've got this year through the winter. I feel like I've improved in those places where when I watch myself, I look, slow, let's say.
Yeah.
Well, we've not seen you in action since the Motocross of Nations last year at Redbud. Just tell us, what was it like representing Team GB, your first experience of it? And you were third eventually, weren't you?
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. It was an amazing weekend.
Yeah.
The first race, we put Tommy on the inside gate and me on the 250 on the outside gate, and I got caught in a first turn crash, and as you know, Tommy was riding fourth until I think only a couple of laps to go. So the strategy worked, because Tommy's fourth would have been amazing, and then unfortunately his bike let go, and that was that. So for the second race, we put me on the inside and then Max on the outside.
And that works as well, because you guys were up front the whole race. You, Jorge, Hunter Lawrence, great battle.
Yeah, it worked for me because I came out in third place. And I think at one point there was something like 4 of the top 5 were 250s. So it was an amazing race. It was the most fun probably I've ever had in a race, because I had all my family, so many friends there, and obviously the whole of GB focus on this race, I think, a little bit more than the World Championship, and to have so many people focused on you, and then to actually ride good and make everybody proud, it was amazing.
Good. Well, look, we're almost out of time here, so we need to get through these questions real quick.
Yes, a couple of social media questions for you. First one is from Heaney17. Is it good to be a pro rider, and did you always aspire to be one?
No, not always. When I first started with my 2 brothers, Nathan and Ryan, and we just used to ride pit bikes in the garden for fun. Right. It was never really something I thought, I'm going to be a professional, or I want to race the World Championship for the whole of my life, let's say. And then it just slowly became a bit of a realisation that I have some potential, and the fun started to get a little bit more serious. And my parents started putting everything into it, and it's nice now for them to be able to look back and see what they've created, let's say. So
I think he's going to be a commentator by the time he's finished his career, eh? He talks more than me.
That is not possible. Another one from Kevin Mohammed M. What happens if you jump without squeezing your knees, he says?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing really.
Kevin, I hope that's answered your question.
No, because people do say grip the bike and all the rest of it. But
I'd say in the air it's good to be loose, to be free, and just kind of, it's your place to relax, let's say, in the air. So for me, just be more free, and then of course grip the bike in the corners and put the bike where you want to with your knees.
Okay. Final question is Seth Schellenberg. What is your favourite species of monkey?
There's got to be a joke.
Brother Ryan.
It's a serious question.
Honestly,
chimps.
I'm going to say one that I know, orangutan.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Is that a monkey?
Well, it's an ape.
I quite like apes.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
Well, look, I don't know. Anyway, look, he's going to waltz on out of here like this, you know, with the arms and everything else in a minute. But Ben, wish you all the best this weekend and for the rest of the season. Thanks for joining us here on MXGP TV. Right, our next guest is in position, Commander Sal. Before we meet him, though, let's take a look at race 2 highlights from this place last year, just to give you an idea of how this track will shape up this weekend.
As the gate dropped for MX2 Race 2, all eyes were on Pauls Jonas. Could he make it a sensational double here? Stephen Ravini was well placed, but look how lucky Prado was. A double wheel slide into the first turn, both legs off the pegs, but he did survive inside the top 15. But it was Davy Puchis who grabbed the foxhole shot, but he didn't stay up front for long. Jonas was already up front and pulling away. Thomas Kjær-Olsen found a move past his number 64 teammate, Thomas Covington. That put him up further towards the front. He was in third at that moment. Meanwhile, Calvin Verlandren was also on the charge, found his way past Covington as well. And that put him in touching distance with the leaders, but he still had a lot of work to do. Sanai found his way around the outside of Porches to go into third, as Hunter Lawrence repeated the move a lap or so later, and he was now in 4th place on that Honda 114 Motorsports machine. Ben Watson timed his run to perfection to push the Dutch rider back. That put him into 5th. What was a sensational ride for the young Brit. But Jonas was unstoppable in Patagonia. So too was Ben Watson, it seemed. Lawrence seeming to fade in the heat in the second moto. Maybe a few mistakes starting to creep into his game, but that pass put Watson into 4th as Prado circulated just inside the top 8. He eventually came home in 7th. A great ride for Jed Beaton as well. That pass on Prado put him into 7th briefly, but Prado would find his way back past on the final lap. And on the final lap, another story was starting to unfold. The HRC Honda of Calvin Verlandren nudged past the satellite team Honda of Lawrence, and that meant Verlandren got himself into 5th. He just ran out of time in the final turn to take Watson for 4th. Watson did manage to hang on, but the win went to Jonas with Olsen Sanai. And the overall Grand Prix looked like this. Pauls Jonas, Thomas Kjær-Olsen and Hunter Lawrence. Ben Watson just missing out in 4th. Jed Beaton, a great start to the season for FNH Kawasaki in 5th. Of course, the overall the same as the championship classification. But Pauls Jonas will head to Valkenswaard Round 2 of the FIM Motocross World Championship with the championship leaders red plate still on the front of that KTM.
Welcome back to our studio show here on MXGP, everybody. Our second guest has joined us now from Monster Energy Kawasaki Racing Team, Clement de Sal. Clement, welcome to Argentina. Fantastic part of the world. When I saw you about 10 days ago training, you look nice and relaxed, look like you're enjoying life at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. I had a good winter and good time with between training and family time. So everything went under control. Also with the new bike, and yeah, also on training I enjoy it, and I follow my program, and everything went okay. So till now, I feel okay and feel good, and yeah, I'm happy to be here for the first race. I cannot wait that the gate drop down and to start the season, because all the time training, yeah, it's something, but then one moment missing racing. So yeah, that's great, and yeah, it's a nice country all the time, like you said, a nice place to be, and that's really nice when you are on a good track on a nice place. It's all the time better, let's say.
Well, last year, 3rd overall in the championship, a good solid season for you. How was your off season in terms of training and developing and trying to improve for this year?
Yeah, so to come back quickly on the 18 was great, and happy to do a complete year, without injury. That's nice. And the off season been let's say like planned. We have good testing in November with the bike. We end really good test. We got some good result, and then during the winter and training, some small adjustment and testing of small detail. And maybe the work has been with the team and the new bike, what we could improve, and that's really nice to see, and some stuff maybe can help me to do better than 18, you know, and that's a great feeling and keep good motivation.
And how much of an advantage has it been to stay 100% healthy during the winter? Do you feel more prepared coming into a new season?
Yeah, for sure. That's an important thing, and also we know that during training it's also, you know, dangerous sport, but it was okay, you know, everything under control, and that's really nice. No, to don't get any injury during the winter. That's also important to arrive here 100%, and you know, first race also, so you know, keep it calm, and it's not now that we will win championship. So, but anyway, for me it's good to have like a good feeling on the bike, on the track, and then have good results already. And yeah, we'll do my best. Right.
And you mentioned the new bike. How is the new bike? Because we've seen a lot of positive comments from the riders, from the media, saying that the new 2019 Kawasaki 450 is good. But how much better is it, and how much different is it from 2018's model?
Yeah, it's a big step. You know, it's good to see also that you know, standard bike had a good evolution, and then we start on a good base, and they listen to my comment from 2-3 years ago, and then I see that it's on the bike now. That's really nice to see. Also for people who will buy the bike, you know, that's nice to see. So we start already to work on a better base, and it's better on many points, like the engine much stronger, but on a good way. The chassis also, and now we have the electric start, and you know, from standard bike they have the hydraulic clutch from standard. So it's really a big step, you know, and feel more support from the engine and from the chassis sides for me, so it's great.
All right, well, look, more from Clément in a moment, but let's just give you a recap as to how you can make the most of your MXGPTV.com package this year.
Absolutely. As the dawn of a new season beckons, now is the perfect time to sign up for the MXGP TV season package, which includes live and on-demand action from every round of the 2019 season, including all qualifying races and the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. It's the only place to watch every second, every weekend, every race of MXGP. The FIM Motocross World Championship live, as well as MXGP. You will also have access to 125, 250 and the 252-stroke EMX Championship, WMX, our MXGP TV studio show, plus 26-minute highlights program behind the gate. And it's all commercial free, so check out our website for more information and enjoy the season. There's a lot going on in that package, Paul.
There is a lot.
I mean, there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Well, look, Clément, we are almost out of time, but final question for you. Russia last year, you were the only rider other than Tony or Jeff to win a race, but more importantly, from Kawasaki's perspective, you won a GP. What's that now, 23 Grand Prix victories for you?
Yeah.
Never gets old, does it, winning and standing on the top step?
No,
Never gets old.
It was really great. You know, I was feeling good on that day. And the Saturday I was like, feeling good, but I see that I was feeling the track really fast, and everybody could be fast on the qualification race. And again there on the Sunday is the race day, and I was feeling great, and it was nice because I passed like on regularity my two adversaries, and it was really a good win, and you know, it's the winning feeling is like why I'm here, you know. This keep really the motivation on a high level, and that was nice. I hope I can get this feeling soon again, and that's really the best feeling you can have, you know, end of the weekend to win the GP.
Well, you never know. You've won a race here before already. It's possible you could win again this weekend.
Yeah.
But look, Clément, thanks for joining us here this weekend. Have a good day, have a good weekend, and all the best for 2019.
Thank you very much.
Clément Desalle, everybody. Right, our third guest, I believe, is in position behind us. Before we meet Dirk Grubel, though, let's take a look at some of the highlights from race 2 from this venue here last year.
Thank you. Bye.
The second race for MXGP, and Tony Cairoli once again the quickest out of the blocks. And he pulled a second foxhole shot of the weekend. Max Anstey, though, wasn't so lucky. He went down and took with him Julian Lieber and Tommy Searle. Herlings was about 6th or 7th going around the first couple of corners, but once again a clear track for Tony Cairoli as De Salle, Van Horbik, Fevre and Herlings gave chase. Gauthier Paulin not too far behind on his Rockstar Energy. Husqvarna was in 6th place. Herlings, though, started to make the moves. He went around the outside of Fevre and then quickly went after Jeremy Van Horbik, and when he made that pass, it was for 3rd. Just 2 more riders stood in his way. Tony Cairoli and Clement De Salle. Jeremy Seewer had a big crash. He was in 7th position. He went down hard. He would not finish the race. The Wilbo Yamaha rider will hope to be on the grid in Holland in 2 weeks' time. Jeffrey Herlings, though, made the move of the race here, and it was a key moment for him. He found his way around the outside of Jeremy Van Horbik in a place that he maybe shouldn't have, and that opened the door for his whole entire race. He was able to close down Clement De Salle on the 25. Another aggressive move around the outside. Made the Belgian think twice about whether he had to turn tight or go wide. And all of a sudden, Herlings had clear track. The downside was he had 9 seconds to make up in the final 9 laps of the race. And for 3 of those, he wasn't making any inroads. But guess what? The gap started to come down. And on the final lap, Herlings got alongside Tony Cairoli, who was just starting to make 1 or 2 mistakes. The bullet went the long way round of the 222. He had the advantage into the next left, and that was the pass for the lead with about 3/4 of a lap to go of this second MXGP race. Cairoli didn't have an answer, and it was Jeffrey Herlings who sped towards the finish line. And what he couldn't do in race 1, he made sure of in race 2. It was a victory in the moto for Jeffrey Herlings from Tony Cairoli and Clement De Salle, and it also meant that Herlings was victorious at this first Grand Prix here in Patagonia, Argentina. Cairoli was 2nd, De Salle was 3rd. Good solid start for those 3 guys, and also the 2 Yamahas of Van Horbik and Fevre. Paulin Simpson weren't far behind either. Everyone will be looking forward to going to Valkenswaard, especially this guy, Jeffrey Herlings, who goes there with the red plate fixed to the front of his Red Bull KTM.
Welcome back to our 3rd and final part of our MXGP TV studio show here at the opening round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. Our 3rd and final guest, Dirk Grubel, team manager from Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, joins us now. Dirk, we've just been watching the footage from last year, race 2 from this very track, Patagonia. Jeffrey Herlings obviously winning the GP in dramatic fashion. Unfortunately, your star man is not here this weekend. Just fill us in on the latest, if you could, please. There was a brief statement put out the other day saying that it will be assessed and analysed in the next few days. But is there any more news in terms of the state of his condition, or any of that, you know, the surgery, the whole process?
No, I mean, the surgery all went well.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, and then they put it in the cast. That got changed after 3 weeks from a half open one, since like they want to see if the wound is going to close, and then once it was closed, they put a closed cast on. That one is still on, and it will be on the next 10 days. After that, they take it off. I think it's March 11 when he has the appointment in the hospital, and then they're going to evaluate more how the healing process is going on and how the foot looks in general, and we need to take it from there then. But so far, his state of mind is good. He's just bored like hell, of course, as you can imagine. And now he's texting the whole team all the time how bad he misses us and how he would like to be here and be behind the gate and rather than on the couch. And no, but it's a pity. Yeah, it's really a pity.
So 11 days, we will know more.
I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah. And was it the big bone on the top of the foot that was broken?
Well, no, you got multiple bones in there, and some of them just multiply themselves, let's say, and they got put together, and yeah, they fix it up well with some pins and a plate and everything like that.
Yeah, he's no stranger to metal.
No.
But last year was incredible. You know, we've obviously not heard much from him. But what was the conversation like after he crashed in Spain when he was training? Did he know immediately that he'd broke his foot?
He knew it, yes.
Yeah.
He felt something is really wrong, and that's why they rushed also straight away back to Belgium, not spending time in Spain and evaluate there, and then maybe if it's swelling up, you cannot fly anymore. And he wanted to be back home with his specialists, with the doctors he trusts, and they made a good move with that. They had the same night at surgery, and everything went well, and I think that was the right decision to do.
And how was he looking in training before he got hurt?
Good. I mean, he was 110% focused, 110% fast, and you know how Jeffrey is. He's all or nothing, and the winter went so good for him. We made some steps with the bike, good progress for him. He was really happy how he performed, how the bike performed. The whole overall package looked just brilliant until he crashed. Yeah.
I guess you were feeling pretty confident about him winning again as well, weren't you?
Without any problems.
Yeah, once he's back in shape and knowing him and how he looked on the bike and the whole package, of course I'm confident that he will win some GPs this year once he's back.
Well, look, obviously there's been 1 or 2 changes as well in terms of your MX2 lineup. Paul Jonas has moved to MXGP and he's riding with Husky now. And you brought in a relatively unknown. He had some success in European 250 last year, and he kind of bounced between being a privateer and you know, and a standing rider towards the last 3 rounds of the championship. Why did you go with Tom Vial in terms of let's give him a go in MX2? What is it that you saw in him that you thought this kid maybe has something?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, we looked at some different kids over the year. Like, you need to start earlier, obviously, and I mean, the good thing with Tom is he was not standing out of the crowd, let's say, but also he was not the guy winning one heat and the next one in the hospital. He was pretty steady and pretty stable. The riding style is something what flashed me, because if you look at him, it reminds me a bit of Jorge.
Yeah.
The way he's standing on the bike, the way he's approaching stuff, for me, I mean, we had a really good winter with Tom, and the way he approached the testing, really professional. I was surprised because, like you said, he come from privateer status, traveling around Europe with his dad, and yeah, no, really good. I was positively surprised, 100%.
Well, you mentioned his dad. His father, Frederick, was also a former racer as well, wasn't he? Does that influence your decision at all? Does it make a difference to you?
Well, sometimes that's actually something what holds me back, because if the dad is a former racer, they know how it's done, and sometimes they have an opinion, and what is not bad thing to bring the kid to a certain level. But then once you hit the factory level, yeah, they need to also see that we do a professional job over years, and we proved with many different names what we brought from nothing to world champion titles. Yeah, Fred, I know from the past. When I was a mechanic back in '97, he was still a racer, so
Yeah.
same as Paul.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like you say, schoolboy dads, sometimes they have SDS, schoolboy dad syndrome, where they're always involved and cannot stop menacing. But yeah.
And what's Tom like as a person? How would you describe his character? Because I'm actually looking forward to getting to know him throughout the year. Few interviews.
He's still pretty shy. He's like a really nice kid, really friendly, and but very shy still. But he will open up. He opened up with us already pretty much, and it's good to see. He feels the trust what is in the team in him, and we give him like everything we can do to bring him forward. And no, you will like him. He's a nice kid, 100%.
Obviously, it's the first time for him here this weekend. How did he find practice? Does he like the track?
Yeah, he walked it yesterday and was already pumped, so he could ride here. But it's like always when you have a new kid and a new guy in the team. I think the downside in the first season is always the brand new tracks what they've never ridden. There's a difference already you see with a guy who was here already and knows a little bit how it goes around, how the soil is, and well, but he will pick it up quick. And no, he felt comfortable after the first outing now.
All right. Well, look, Dirk, thanks for joining us here. Thanks for giving us the very latest on Jeffrey Herlings, and all the best
problem.
with Tom this weekend and for the rest of the season.
Okay.
No
Thanks
problem.
very much.
Well, look, we are out of time here. That was our first studio show of the season with myself and Lisa Leyland. We'll be back, in 3 weeks' time when we go to Matterley Basin for round 2. That's right, Matterley Basin, the MXGP of Great Britain. hopefully the weather is as good as it is here. But you can catch all the action live today and tomorrow on MXGP TV, uninterrupted, no TV commercials, of course. Qualifying race, the gate dropped today at 3:25, and we're 4 hours behind European time, Central European time, so it's going to be around 7:30 this evening. MXGP qualifying immediately after that, and then we are on air tomorrow from 12 o'clock, so 4 in the afternoon Central Europe, 3 if you're watching in Great Britain. So thanks for watching. Lisa and I will be back in a couple of weeks' time. We'll see you then. Enjoy the race this weekend.